Should you go to grad school? At one point, I had to make that decision, and I decided not to go to grad school. But that doesn't mean you should choose the same thing that I did. It could be worth it for you. So that's what we're going to figure out in this video. So these days, everyone and their mother has an undergraduate degree. And this makes undergraduate degrees less worth it because everyone has them and it becomes oversaturated. So this also makes it more attainable to get a graduate degree, like a PhD or a master's, since if most of the time, actually always, it is always required to have an undergraduate degree to get a master or a graduate degree. So college is an investment to some people. So without a graduate degree, you're probably going to earn less with an undergraduate degree than what you would earn with a graduate degree. The question is, how much will you earn less? So if you had all the money in the world, just imagine it, you had all the money in the world, the only reason you would want to go to college is if you wanted to get the experience of going to college, like oh, everyone's going to college because it's fun, it's the frat parties and stuff like that. Or you wanted the knowledge from college, like if you wanted to be a professor as your career, and because, professors don't get paid that much, but they do get paid enough to live off of. And you need a doctorate, a PhD to become a professor. So consequently, if you want to if your ideal job, you already decided, is to get a career that requires grad school, like a professor or something along those lines, where it's absolutely required to have a graduate degree, then by all means, get a graduate degree. You're already hard set on that career, so why not just go for it? Most people, however, do not have the luxury of having all the money in the world, so they have to make a decision if grad school is going to be worth it, if the extra money they're going to get from grad school or from having that grad school degree is going to be worth it in the long term. So most people also have to take out student loans to go to college and even grad school in the United States if they don't have a fund set up for them, like a trust fund or something like that their parents set up for them. And these loans are going to accrue interest over time, so there's also that hidden factor as well. For the following, calculations I'm about to explain to you, I'm going to assume that someone with a graduate school degree is going to make 15% more than someone with a graduate degree, or with just like the undergraduate bachelor's level degree. So for example, if your career makes on average $100,000 a year, then you're expected to make $15K more than the average person with the bachelor degree. And this extra 15% is nice and all, and it's probably higher for even more advanced degrees, but we'll just assume 15% for now. But we're also going to take into effect the student loans. So student loans can have a very high range that they can vary from. So they can sometimes be as low as 30K, or maybe as high as 500K or 100K or something like that. So it really depends. So a nice school is of course going to cost more than a school made in a dumpster, a dumpster fire school. So that's obviously going to vary on the cost. Also, if it's out of state or in-state, will also vary with the cost. So one factor that people don't take into account when thinking about going to grad school or not is the opportunity cost of going to the grad school for X amount of years. So 2 years or 5 years, because you have to go to school for a long time for some of these advanced degrees. So let's say that during these years of school, you make a little bit of money because you're a TA, teacher's assistant, and you make some money off of that. It's not much, but it's enough to live off of. You can get some food and stuff. So let's say it's going to be 30K a year just on being a TA, which is okay. You can live off that. But you're probably going to make more if you just started out directly with a career. So let's also assume the grad school is trying to get a master's, and it'll take them 2 years to get it. So now we're going to look at the person with just the bachelor's degree. So since they make the 15% less, so it's going to be, they're going to make 15% less than 100K a year. So they'll make $85K a year. And they're going to be making that like right out of the gate, let's just say. I mean, this ideal scenario, of course. It might take some time to find a job and whatnot, but they'll probably, and it might be quicker to find a job outside of school, or like if you have a higher degree. Like it might be easier to find a job if you have a PhD rather than a bachelor's. But that's really depends on the company as well. So the undergraduate worker will have made $170K in those 2 years that the grad school student is going to be taking his classes and getting his master's degree. So that 180K or 170K, it's because 85K a year, and that's just times 2 is 170K. And then the I guess the master's student is going to be making or 30K a year because he's a TA. That's around what a TA would make, maybe more, maybe less. So that's going to be 60K in those 2 years. So the difference between that is going to be 110K. So that's going to be, I guess, the opportunity cost of going to grad school. You lose out on 110K. And another factor here is that the person who immediately started out in the career already gains experience. He already has, or they already have 2 years of experience on the job, and sometimes the experience can be worth much more than just a normal master's degree. So 2 years of experience, you're already like a senior kind of at the job. It's a lot of, it could be worth a lot. Of course, this experience will mean less and less as you go on in the career, because like, what's the difference between 15 years experience and 13 years experience? It's not too much. So if we add the opportunity cost of 110K for opportunity cost of, I guess, not going to graduate school and just starting a career, to the student loan amount, let's just say 30K, even though it is likely to be higher for many grad school students, for especially if they go to like a PhD or maybe like a professional degree or something like that. So if we add that, we'll just say it's 140K is the cost of the opportunity cost and then the loan of going to grad school. So if the person with the master's degree makes that 15% more, that 15K more a year, it'll take them around 9 to 10 years to, I guess, get that return on investments. And that might seem like a long time. And it is a long time. That's almost a decade. And of course, this can vary a lot, but that 9 to 10 years to make back what you spent on the college. But after that, though, they're going to be earning a lot more, and I guess that's where it definitely could be worth it. If you're planning to work for 40 years and you're making that 15% more each year, definitely go to grad school in that case. But this is also not keeping track of if you are, the more you're in a field, the less impact, like the more number of years that you're in a field, the less impact that a graduate degree will have on your salary. Like if you're in a field for 20 years and the only difference between you and the other person is the bachelor's or the master's degree or the grad school degree, then I guess the difference isn't going to be that much since you have 20 years of experience. Who cares about your degree at that point, right? So this is also not keeping track of the quality of life improvements that you might get for getting the master's degree or the graduate school degree. And this might come from like people respecting you more, and since they respect you, you might have an easier job because they think, oh, I'll take care of this for you. You're too good for this easy work. I'll take care of the chump work. You can take care of the other stuff. Or yeah, they might actually take care of the easy stuff, and maybe the master's person will have to take care of the hard stuff. So it could really depend on the job as well. So I was taking a look at a scenario where you're only in 2 years for grad school, when it could take much longer, and it will often take much longer for a better degree. Like 4 years for like a doctorate, or 7. It might take 7 for a doctorate or a professional degree. And that comes with a cost as well, because 7 years in school is a long time, and you could be earning a lot more just right out of just the straight bachelor's. So, but of course you're going to make a lot more as well. So, because you might make 50% more with a doctorate as opposed to a bachelor's degree. So according to the Department of Labor Statistics, you are actually, someone with a bachelor's degree is going to make on average $60K a year, while someone with a doctorate degree is going to make $90K a year. So that's 50% more just for the doctorate degree than the 15% more I was talking about with the master's degree. So it really depends on the type of degree you're getting and as well. But I will link the statistics for that in the description of this video. So depending on how long you live, because that's an actual factor, how long you live, because if you're going to live for 15 more years, then it might not be worth it. But if you're going to plan to live a long time, which I guess you hopefully should, and you plan to work a long time as well, that's probably the more important factor. You're planning to work in the field that you're studying in, grad school might be worth it for you. But otherwise, if you could always change your mind. If you feel like you're the person to change your mind a lot and suddenly want to go to a different field, suddenly you might want to make YouTube videos and all this degree stuff doesn't matter to you, well, go for it. Or don't go for the master's then, because it might not be worth it, unless you just really want to learn that subject. But you might be asking, is learning all this and paying for it worth it when I could just learn it for free online? But anyways, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Peace later.